Bien, buenos días. Continuando con las exposiciones, tenemos a la ponente Shelley de la institución Institute of Learning Science and Technologies, docente del Instituto de Learning Science and Technologies y el ST, National Tsinghua University, Taiwán. Dentro de la exposición, el tema de la ponencia es Suspending Class Without Suspending Learning, Innovative Use of Open Education Resources and Development of Mobile Virtual Reality. Dentro de la descripción general de la ponencia está en relación al punto de quiebre que hemos pasado sobre el COVID-19. Sin más preámbulos, démosles un fuerte abrazo a la ponente Shelley Jones para que empiece su exposición. Gracias.
Thank you very much for your stay here, Dr. Shelley. We can start with the presentation now.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Shelley. Good morning.
Hello. Thank you for your introduction. Could you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Today, my topic is digital education innovation in post-COVID-19 era, informed by research. From suspending class without suspending learning to innovative uses of open educational resources, OERs, and the development of mobile virtual reality, MVR. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizer for inviting me to share my innovative research work at National Tsinghua University, Taiwan during the past years in COVID-19 pandemic. Actually, this is the second time for me to be invited to attend this conference. I feel very honored. I would like to share with you the first time, about 4 years ago, when I was invited. That time, we did not have any COVID-19. The world was very peaceful, and I feel very happy and excited to fly from Taiwan to Peru. Okay, today I would like to invite you to share with me the wonderful flight last time, how I come from Taiwan. Okay, this is my flight. I came from Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport to Amsterdam Airport, Schiphol. Then it took me 13 hours and 30 minutes, okay, from Taiwan Taoyuan Airport to Amsterdam. And there I was waiting for a connecting flight for 6 hours. Then I took another flight, okay? So I took another flight from Amsterdam Airport, Schiphol to Georgia Bay International Airport. From there, I get to the capital, Lima. It took me 12 hours and 35 minutes, okay? I was waiting there for another connecting flight for one more night. Then, okay, in the very early morning, I took another flight from Lima to Arequipa. It took me 1 hour and 30 minutes. Wow, it was a very, very long flight. However, the totally, including the connecting flight, it took me almost 50 hours. Wow, it was a very long and amazing, wonderful tour from Taiwan to Peru. And I was so impressed by so many people there. So I also invited to join me to enjoy those wonderful photos I had 4 years ago. So this to the right, it was the program, okay? And this, I was doing the presentation in the school university. You see the audience there, and in the welcome ceremony, we have the dance, okay? We have speakers, right? And I enjoy to having so many wonderful photos with the students and local people, and also the conference organizers, Professor Clinch, okay, and some other keynote speakers. And see here some other photos with the students. And I also visited administrators, high-ranking people with Professor Clinch, and visited the College of Education together, and we enjoy very delicious food, local food. So wonderful memories. And at the end of the conference, the organizer even sent us to the wonderful location, Machu Picchu. Okay, so you get to know that's the so-called, we enjoy the real world experience. Okay. However, this time, my second time to join this conference, we have the very bad COVID-19 all over the world, right? And here, I'm here, and you are here at the remote. How can we get connected? Because of the bad COVID-19, so we could not go directly. And now it's about your time, your local time, about 10 o'clock in the morning, from 10 to 11, November 9th, okay? And here, I'm in Taiwan. You know, there are 13 hours difference, okay? Taiwan is about 13 hours ahead of Peru's local time. So it's now, I'm speaking from Taiwan. You know, here it's almost midnight, midnight, November 9th, okay? It's almost 11 p.m. And I think when this lecture finish, it will be approaching midnight, okay? I'm presenting from my office at National Tsinghua University, Hsinchu, Taiwan. So I feel very honored to say hi to you. Because of COVID-19, you could not come to Taiwan. I could not visit Peru again. However, the beauty of the information technology network, the internet, get us connected. We use the Microsoft Teams. So that's why even we were prevented to visit each other. However, we still can take advantage of the beauty of this kind of information technology. We could make things happen. So, and I would like to share with you what the beauty of this campus. This is my university. I hope, meanwhile, we can share with you some of the beautiful things on my campus, okay? So I would like to invite you to have a little virtual campus tour to National Tsinghua University. Okay, just join me and let's see. Okay, when someday the COVID-19 will be flattened, I hope after you see the virtual campus tour, you will have the strong desire to come to Tsinghua, my university, because on my campus, I also have some students coming from your country and from the South Americans. Okay, so join me. Okay, we have a lot of lakes and mountains on campus. And about this season, now it's November. In next month, we are expecting to have beautiful plum flowers, plum flowers next month. And also in the fall season, you know, we have some beautiful trees turning into red and green, from green to yellow and red, and some beautiful lake view and even pavilions. And we have special architectures on campus and the Gore Garden in memory of our former president. Okay, so I just shared with you a little virtual tour. Now I would like to introduce you more about myself. Okay, I'm teaching at the Institute of Learning Sciences and Technology. That's my major appointment. And I have 2 joint appointments at the Institute of Information System and Application and the Center for General Education. And you see, my university is called National Tsinghua University, NTHU. That's abbreviation, Taiwan. Actually, in the world, there is another Tsinghua University located in Beijing, okay, in China. And actually, those two universities have the same name. They are just like twin universities. And I don't know whether you know about the Chinese history. Actually, when our former president, Chiang Kai-shek, moved the government from China to Taiwan, the president of the Tsinghua University, Dr. Mei, followed President Jiang to Taiwan. So about 60 years ago, he reestablished another Tsinghua University in Taiwan. So that's why nowadays we have two Tsinghua universities, and we have very close ties. We can exchange, supervise students, even go to the exchange teachers in different campuses. Okay, and my research interests include the following. Okay, technology, enhanced language learning, TEL, ubiquitous and mobile learning, virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, AR, in learning and training, open educational content and online learning. And for open educational content, we call abbreviation OER, and digital games and joyful learning. So among those five of my research interests today, I will share with you, you see the highlighted two lines, I will share with you more about the research project on virtual reality and also on open educational content, OER, and online learning. Okay, my contact information is like this. If you want to contact me, okay, you can send me email, and my email is here, scy@mxnthu.edu.tw. And currently, I'm the head of learning technology, LT Lab at NTHU. I'm supervising 6 graduate students. They are all master students. And I am leading 2 research projects sponsored by the National Council and Technology Council. Okay, so this is the outline of my today's keynote presentation. It includes 5 parts. The first one is the dramatic changes brought by COVID-19, emergency online learning, suspending class without suspending learning. The second part is OER, that means open educational resources. When I talk about MIT OCW and the MOOCs, MOOCs. The third part and fourth part, I will share 2 research projects. The first one will be about exploring possible preferred learning modes using OER in post-COVID-19 era. The second research project will be about implementing the mobile VR, MVR, for medical or nursing education training during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, the last part will be some thoughts on changing paradigms of teaching and learning in the post-COVID-19 pandemic. And if we have some time, I would like to allow some time for Q&A. Okay, this is going to the first part about the dramatic changes brought by COVID-19, emergency online learning, suspending class without suspending learning. We know the global outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 has changed education dramatically and profoundly. I remember that year, 2020, I was on sabbatical leave. I was doing research at the UBC, that means University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. That year, it was a very special year in my life because when I flew to Vancouver, the pandemic was not so bad. It was only some cases in Wuhan in China. However, after I arrived at the UBC Vancouver, 1 month later, I think the global outbreak, the COVID-19, and I also witness what happened to the University of British Columbia. So that time, we see teaching has been suddenly forced to switch from face-to-face to online distance learning worldwide for the sake of health and safety in order to sustain learning opportunities, no matter whether educators or students like the online learning mode or not. That was the real case, okay? That time, I think all of us already experienced this. And today, most of the countries are still working very hard to flatten the curve of the pandemic, and the online distance learning has become the overwhelming means and a new normal in post-pandemic era. And we'll see why and how people are still working very hard to flatten the curve of the pandemic. Okay, let me show you the statistics. This is the most statistics of the COVID-19. Okay, you see the date, November 8th. Okay, I just checked the statistics provided by WHO, that means World Health Organization. Okay, so the global situation of confirmed cases. Okay, here the most recent time, the global cumulative confirmed cases are 600 million. Oh, that's way a lot. It's about 8% of the global population. And you will also see the death toll, the case fatality rate is about 1%. So it's about 6 million people. Okay, from this diagram, you see the color. Okay, most of the colors on Earth on this map are blue. And what does blue stand for? You see the blue to the right. Okay, the case like this big. Okay, so if the color is deeper blue or lighter blue, okay, that means the COVID-19 cases are still a lot. Okay, so when you see something really free, zero, so only very, very few locations, that means the COVID-19 is still very bad. So when we break it down to the region into several continents, you will see the Europe, America are the top two. So we could easily realize the COVID-19 cases are still a lot. Then the next one will be Western Pacific, then Southeast Asia, okay, and also Eastern Mediterranean, then Africa. So that's the situation. As I just said to you, when the global outbreak of COVID-19 in 2020, okay, let me recall, when it just occurred in the very beginning, about that time, I checked the statistic data when I was working in Vancouver, UBC. About that time, you see, according to the information provided by the UNESCO in 2020, about that time, 195 countries had closed physical schools. More than 1 million students are unable to attend school. That's really very bad because, if they could not attend school, they lost the opportunity to receive education. So under the global outbreak of COVID-19 in 2020, the only countries that could maintain traditional face-to-face learning are Australia, Singapore, Sweden, Cuba, Tajikistan, and Taiwan. Okay, you see Taiwan here. That time, we still can attend the physical school every day. Then what will happen to Taiwan? Okay, I will show you. So under the influence of the COVID-19 pandemic, Taiwan adopted a semi-lockdown strategy with the policy of called suspending class without suspending learning. That means if the students and teacher could not attend the physical classroom, we will find some way for them to receive education and learning. So That means only some teachers and students were forced to temporarily switch to emergency online classes, or called online learning, when a small number of people were affected by the confirmed cases. I remember about that time, Taiwan was quite safe because people wear masks very quickly, so it could protect us from the impact of COVID-19 in the very beginning. So the emergency online learning experience is different from general online learning. And we would like to see what will be the differences. And then we conduct studies and also explore and make comparison. And its situation is unique and meaningful. So therefore, we conducted a study to understand how students perceive learning during the emergency online learning period in COVID-19. Okay, so in that study, there are several research questions. However, due to the time limit, so today I would like to share with you partial of the result. Okay, the partial result, it indicated by the participant, they reflected on the future of the emergency online learning. It has 5 forces. The first one will be self-time management and personal planning. The second one will be more diverse learning channels or diverse learning modes. The third one will be well-designed curriculum and teaching method and tools. The fourth part with enhancement of teachers' preparation for using emergency technology in education. The last part with a new normal of learning in the future. So from the 5 forces, you will understand the participant, the learner, our students have some expectation, and because the quick switch to the online learning, so they expect to have more. The school, the teacher will provide more diverse learning channels, okay? And also from the part for, teachers' preparation for using technology in education or learning is not good enough. Okay, so I highlight two items here: more diverse learning channels of modes, and also new normal of learning in the future. That means I'm going to focus more in today's presentation on how we can take advantage of the open educational resources and try to open some more learning opportunities or learning channels or modes, okay? And this study, you want to know more about other parts. I'm glad I will share with you, because this paper, this project was already, the result of this project was already published, okay? So it was published this year. We call it Suspending Class Without Suspending Learning, a study of the emergency online in higher education amid semi-lockdown in COVID-19 pandemic. The journal is Research of Educational Communications and Technology. So originally it's in Chinese, but it also have an English version. If you would like to know more, you can let me know. I would like to share this paper with you. Okay, according to the so-called 5 forces I just shared with you, the students expect to have something, diverse modes, okay? How can we make diverse modes happen? Then we need to know more about open educational resources. And today I would like to direct your attention to the MIT OCW and MOOCs, because with this kind of open educational resources, that's why we can conduct some so-called innovative study using innovative teaching strategies, something like flipped classroom learning, and also take advantage of the open educational resources. Okay, I'm glad to share with you this time diagram of how we can take advantage of different technology along the time. Okay, when we look back in 1960s, about that time, we start to have the computer network. You will remember the very significant ARPANET, okay, in 1996. So along the timeline, we have different technology to support our learning, and we always look for the attributes of the technology, the characteristic of the technology in order to enhance our learning. Until the year 2000, about that time, okay, we have OER. Actually, before that, people did not want to share their intellectual property, okay? So about that time, there's a so-called OER movement, because when we have the internet, as I said, ARPANET, how can we take advantage of this technology? Definitely, learning content is very important. So that time, MIT launched the very famous project called the MIT OCW. That means MIT Open Courseware. So MIT is a prestigious university. They would like to share their 2,000 of their courses online, but those courses, including the class notes and some PPT, some lecture notes, but it's only one-way communication. As long the time move on, so here about 2012, that time, there's a big event called MOOCs, okay? So MOOCs means what? I will show you later. After we had MOOCs, then several years later, we encountered COVID-19. And you will see before 2020, when we people like educational technologists work very hard, try to promote distance learning, online learning. However, online learning moved at a relatively slow pace. However, till this year, a magic happened. That's the topic about today, what we are talking about. Okay, so we zoom into the time. Okay, as I just mentioned to you, OER, Open Educational Resources. About that time, see, we have open education, then open source, open software, even open university, open content, and MIT launched the monument called the Open Courseware. Okay, so 2008, 9, 10. So later, same for MOOCs, we call X MOOCs. And this year, New York Times called 2012 this year, the year of the MOOCs. Why? Because about that time, several leading MOOC platforms were established. Okay, so I will show you more details. So from this word clause, you get to see what MOOC stands for. You will see the different size will catch our attention. So you see the MOOC, MOOC. So the bigger word like course. Okay, so MOOC something related to course, related to what? To university, related to online, related to students. Okay, related something to free. Okay, so you will see some highlights from this word clause. I think I designed this diagram. I would like to get your attention. Since we were young and little, we started our education in primary school. We have been working very hard. We try to what? Run for an ideal university. And I show you here the old emblem of the so-called world-class university. I know you might be able to recognize some of the emblems of those universities like Berkeley, Stanford, and in Oriental, we have Beijing University, just to name a few. You want to get admitted to those prestigious world-class universities, it would be a highly honored. However, it must be very competitive, right? A lot of competitiveness, and we must be very have the perseverance. And once, if you are lucky enough to be admitted to those prestigious universities, what will happen to you? You need to pay very high tuition fee. You might be in debt. Okay, so a lot of challenges in our life, throughout academic life. However, with the advancement of the network information technology, you will see in this world, okay, there are so many prestigious universities. And how can we benefit from this kind of technology? Well, you see the answer will be next. Okay, so those universities all aligned together, they share their valuable intellectual online. Okay, so nowadays, if you are an active learner, if you like, you can connect it to those MOOCs. Okay, those online courses are open and available. So let's see. The first course of MOOCs was found in 2008 at the University of Manitoba in Canada. And as I just mentioned to you, as indicated by New York Times, they say 2012 is the year of MOOCs. And why? As I said, several major MOOCs platforms were founded about that time. Okay, we'll say the great minds look alike, although those universities are in different parts of the world, but about the same time. You see, people start to establish so many MOOCs platforms. So we'll see Udacity was founded in June 2011, Coursera, April 2012, edX in May 2012. And I don't know how, you know, the first three MOOCs platforms are in USA, right? And I don't know how many of you know this platform, Share Course. It was founded in November 2012. Actually, Share Course is a MOOC platform by my university, National Tsinghua University. Okay, so I will share with you more later. And another Future Learn platform, okay, is in UK. It was established in December 2012. So you will see, that's why New York Times say, okay, that's the year of the MOOCs. Okay, I just named a few. Okay, so global, we'll show you the global MOOCs. You will see in different parts of the world, there are so many platforms, MOOCs platforms have been established. Okay, as I just mentioned to you, in my university, National Tsinghua University, we have our own MOOC platform called Share Course. Once we have the platform, just like we have the highway, the super highway, okay? However, if we just have the super highway, we need to have a car. So actually, we also produce a lot of courses. Now I'm showing some of the poster of those courses. And we also, to adapt to the world trend on the MOOCs platform Share Course, we also provide a lot of micro program. So you see from those posters, some videos look so cute, right? And some you can see the teacher's image, and with different courses, they might teach. Okay, some more poster, and here you will see different image of those teachers when they offered MOOC courses on the platform. Okay, so very interesting. I just noticed a kind of new phenomenon. Before, when we see education or academic situation, people will see professor very severe. But here, after we have the MOOCs, you see they change the image of professor. They look differently, right? You see those teachers, particularly this one about the thermal physics, I will introduce him more. Okay, so after we have a lot of online open courses online, like MOOCs or OCW, then if we have so many online courses, can we take advantage of those courses? Okay, so that's why we try to find some innovative ways and try to find something new. So I'm going to share with you two research projects. And this is the first one. We would like to explore the possible preferred learning modes using OER in post-COVID-19 era. Okay, this one is called Transforming the Thermal Physics Classroom with Integration of MOOCs and the Flipped Classroom Learning. I'm sure you all know about the new pedagogy called Flipped Classroom Learning. And the thermal physics is a kind of hard science, okay, in university. And I don't think so many teachers in physics would like to adapt so-called innovative way of teaching. And I would like to show you this instructor, the professor, okay? He looks relatively younger. Since we have the OCW, Open Courseware, he committed a lot of time to produce the online course, Open Courseware. Until 2012, he further produced more MOOC courses. So he already owned a lot of MOOC courses. And also he's received outstanding teaching award from the OCW in the world OCW. So this teacher would like to try some innovative way of teaching. And regarding this research project, we already get this research result published in a journal. The title of that paper is called Unbundling Teaching and Learning in the Flipped Thermophysics Classroom in Higher Education, powered by emerging innovative technology. The journal is Australian Journal of Education Technology. So it was published last year. If you are interested in this paper, please let me know. I would like to share with you and send you the copy. And I would like to give you some highlights of this study in today's presentation, okay? So how we transform thermophysics class integrating MOOCs and flipped classroom. So in this study, we wanted to investigate a thermophysics classroom, okay, integrated with the open online learning modes to afford various learning strategies for students. So for students, it's kind of student-centered learning, right? Because in our class, normally, okay, all of the students need to attend the class, okay? No special case. But however, because this professor already produced a lot of online courses, so he would like to give it a try for some kind of innovative way of teaching. And in order to understand how this kind of teaching will benefit the students, so we examine the students' preferred learning modes by utilizing a quasi-experimental design questionnaire, self-reported data, journals, and interviews. And the 99 students participant in this study, that means in his class, we had 99 students, okay? So the professor instructor allow all students enroll in this thermophysics class to choose their own preferred learning modes, okay? So what are the learning modes? Okay, I will show you because, I will show you later. So that means all students had full access to all course materials in both open online course and traditional face-to-face learning context throughout the whole semester. We examined the learners' academic performance in each learning mode and surveyed their perception of the course. So what are the learning modes? I will share with you. Okay, you will see from this slides, this diagram, there are 5 learning modes. The first one is called face-to-face. From week 1 to week 18, in our education system, one semester contains 80 weeks. The second one will be web facilitated. We call it WF. The third one will be alternative blended. The fourth one will be online learning. The last one will be flipped learning. So among those 5 learning modes, students have their privilege to choose whatever mode they like. Okay, if I don't want to go to the class, okay, you can stay with the online learning. If you would like to go to the class, like a traditional one, you just come to the class. And if some students would like to go to the class, also they would like to use the web information to enhance their learning, they can do this, okay? So the open course could meet the different kinds of needs for students. Students were satisfied with this management to let them choose the learning models. Okay, so this is the statistic. from the highlighted part, you will see which mode received the highest the mean score. Okay, you will see the flipped learning has the highest score, 82.73, and 11 students enroll in this mode. And the next one will be what? Web facilitated. Okay, 30 students use this and receives the means 73.43. And for the alternative blended, sometimes they come to the class, sometimes they stay online. Okay, there are 31 students. The score is like 72.26. Okay, so which one is the lowest one? You will see the online learning. 6 students just stay online. They receive the lowest mean, 60.50. Okay, so from here, we will know if they can take the advantage of the real world along with the online information, relative their score will be higher. However, the flipped learning received the highest score. So that means flipped learning pattern gets the best learning performance, which is significantly better than online learning pattern. And after we analyze students' performance, we will share with you self-regulated time management is the most important factor for students' learning outcome. Well-scheduled self-scheduled management conducts a better learning performance. So students need to learn how to self-discipline themselves in this kind of open, innovative learning modes. Okay, so what's the significance of this study? The finding of this study indicated that information technology could transform teaching and learning in the thermophysics classroom and challenges the instructor to tailor the course to meet the students' diverse needs. So this instructor is young. He received a lot of outstanding teacher awards. So that's why he would like to allow students to have this kind of flexibility to stay with their favorite learning mode. So this study provides a valuable reference related to how traditional on-campus higher education institutions could be unbundled to create student-centered learning approaches in post-COVID-19 era. Okay, that's the project one. Okay, we'll see the second project called implementing the mobile VR, MVR for medical nursing education training during the COVID-19 pandemic. As you know, in traditional education, nursing educators have sought to improve proficiency in basic nursing skills through hands-on practices. That's a traditional one. However, after we have different kinds of technology, particularly nowadays, we have a lot of state-of-art technology, like a simulation, or we can have a virtual patient, and even digital learning, etc. Those have been developed into an emerging teaching strategy in healthcare education. So after we have the so-called advanced or state-of-the-art technology, and we also know virtual reality simulation, because VR can allow us to have the authentic world situation experience mediated by technology, that means computer. So VR simulation can be very effective when implemented in clinical preparation, communication skills, critical thinking, and collaboration related skills without harming real patient. I think the last few words is very important because, you know, before the nurse or the doctor becomes the actual practitioner, they need to receive a lot of training. They cannot just do their practice to the real patient because it might cause some kind of harm, and even sometimes they will put it in that kind of controversial situation of a matter of life and death. So as I just showed you, because this kind of technology, okay, VR can allow the people to practice some kind of, this one is some for surgical training. Before they interacted with the real patient, they had to have this kind of opportunity to learn to operate the technology in the virtual world. So from there, they can learn the direct tactile feedback from the technology. Okay, until they learn this kind of skills, they can try to practice the skill to the real patient. Another one is called the virtual patient.
Excuse me, Dr.
Okay, the virtual patient, because when in clinical training or nursing training, they use stand-up patient for training. However, it costs a lot of money. Okay, sometimes it's quite time consuming. So that's why with this kind of advanced technology, we hope we can create virtual patient, just like they play the role of patient, and the patient could speak multi-language. So it saves a lot of money, and also it brings some safety. However,
Excuse me, Dr.
those two virtual reality was using desktop technology. Okay, that means desktop technology in the classroom. However, what can we do when physical learning and training in nursing education or healthcare was suspended during COVID-19 pandemic time? So that means even we had that kind of desktop VR,
Excuse me, Dr. Can you hear me?
the people still could not take advantage of the technology. So when we are facing this kind of spatial situation, how can we do something to get this situation improved? Okay, so in Taiwan, we'll see in terms of the ownership of the mobile device, people own a lot of smartphones and also tablet. So we try to think how can we take this kind of technology, combine with virtual reality and make it kind of mobile virtual reality that can transcend time and space. So even when the physical learning could not take place, we still can take advantage of this kind of mobile VR and continue to make learning occur. Okay, so that's the case. So combining virtual reality and mobile device, that's our innovative research. And we try to use the virtual reality senses because VR can create teaching and learning scenario situation that bring visuals and auditory effects to users and construct immersive and imaginative learning experience. In that VR, they feel that they are situated in the real world because it's a 3D environment. Furthermore, mobile learning allows students to practice on their own when they want to, regardless of the time and location, and saves the time and cost of training standardized patient. As I just said, ST, standardized patient, always costs a lot of money and time-consuming in terms of management. So with just a smartphone like this, a smartphone and a cardboard, okay, we can train multiple people at the same time in a single session. So that's the result. The mobile virtual reality, it looks like this. And in this study, the learning content of the learning thing is called the disposal of systematic allergic reaction caused by medication. Why we chose this topic? Because, you know, this kind of situation, new nursing staff often misjudge drug-induced allergy. So this kind of allergy management procedure and affect the patient. So if the nurses could not have the proper treatment, and it will lead to the death of the patient. So that could be very dangerous. So that's why we chose to build this content into the mobile virtual reality. So this is one of the interface. I would like to show you how this mobile virtual reality works. From here, you will see this is a 2D PPT. It only presents views of both the left and the right screen. While in VR, the two screens will be merged together into a three-dimensional view. So it will bring the user like they are in the real situation of the hospital. Okay, so in this interface, because when our hands are holding the mobile and we are entering into this 3D situation, and I will show in the interface. This one is the timeline, because it's just like place the people, take the nurse in the real situation. The user need to interact with this patient, virtual patient, stand-up patient, and when the patient bring the questions, the nurse need to interact very quickly. So we need to count the time. So the timeline will indicate how much time you already consumed, and the interaction point. Because in this world, we will show something, and here we have three parts. The eye means we can show more information, and this triangle means start of the VR learning scenario. And for the text box, it will answer display. The interaction could be presented through the verbal and also through the text. Okay, so the circle here, it will select by the black circle. For the user, they can align the interaction point by moving the black circle, and the black circle will be filled up, so it can always lead the scenario to move on and move to the next scene. So this system is has been implemented. Okay.
Excuse me, Dr. Young, can you hear me?
Hello? Could you hear me?
Can you hear me, Dr. Young?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we don't have more time for the presentation, sorry.
Pardon?
We don't have more time for the presentation.
Oh, really? Because I was told from 10 to 11, right?
No, it was until 10:30.
30? 10? So now I have to finish this, or I can just show this quickly. Okay, can I finish this? My thought on this regarding the cone of experience? No? So it's like the double flip cone of experience. It's powered by information technology. Okay, I can show you the conclusion, okay? Okay, the conclusion is that the global outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 was a crisis to health and life and brought all kinds of challenges to human beings. However, a crisis is often the turning point for the better. We can turn crisis into opportunities. Thus, to view this from a different perspective, the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 is a universally powerful trigger to establish a monument in the history of learning technology when we have been forced to use online distance learning all over the world ever since, no matter whether you like it or not. So the last page, this is the third year after the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. Eventually, online or blended learning has become an essential and a new normal mode of learning. Through our collective efforts in the past years, we are adapting ourselves to embrace learning technology. With the innovative uses of information technology, we will be able to afford the simulated real-world experiences for adaptive and personalized learning for education and for a better tomorrow. We call that a brave new virtual world, metaverse, the new reality empowered by emerging technologies. Okay, so that's the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Young.
Yeah.
We have one question for the audience.
Okay.
The question is, in such a competitive environment, both in education and in the workplace, in addition to the pandemic, surely there were many cases of people with poor mental health. Were there any measures to control this using the technological tools developed during the pandemic?
I could not follow you. Would you please just rephrase the question again? Could you rephrase the question again?
Yes, the question is, in such a competitive environment,
Yes.
both in education and in the workplace, in addition to the pandemic, surely there were many cases of people with poor mental health. Were there any measures to control this using the technological tools developed during the pandemic?
You mean for mental health?
Yes.
For mental health, I think if we want to take advantage of the technology, how can we form a team to do the so-called joint or interdisciplinary study is very important. Just like the case I just showed you about the mobile virtual reality. Actually, it's a joint research project, okay? Because, for us, we are education technologists. We did not have the knowledge of the nursing or medical areas, the discipline. So that's why we need to invite teams. Okay, so if we want to deal with the mental health, okay, if we want to use this technology, we still can form a team and invite the people of that with that kind of expertise to work together. Do I answer your questions? Or
Yes, thank you. And we have one last question.
yes.
The question is, how and with what kind of technology for education could we face if a new pandemic occurs? Would it be easier for us with that happen with COVID-19?
I'm not so sure I really follow the question. So the key question is what?
Would it be easier for us to confront another pandemic with what happened with COVID-19?
Will it be easier for us? If
Yes,
we,
would it be
yeah,
easier if
okay,
another pandemic occurs?
sure, based on our current experience, because remember in 2020 to 3 years ago, it's really a very hard situation for people to move to online learning from the real world, right? However, after we already have this first time experience a global pandemic, just as I pointed out, we already gradually adapt ourselves to this new normal of learning. Okay, so nowadays almost people have experience of using information technology. If once we encounter a pandemic again, I'm sure we will feel more confident, and we will be relatively easier for us to adapt to the new situation. That's my answer.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
With this, we will end the presentation. We really appreciate your presentation here,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
thank you.
Thank you. So it's almost our midnight, and hope you have a successful conference. Thank you.
Goodbye, thank you.
Goodbye.